Hey everybody, this is Tommy G.
And it's PJ.
And we're doing a special edition, live from the Hive, sort of semi-live. It's kind of an interesting setup we got here today. Right now, showing you the flyover from Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is not where we're at. We're down in Hawaii, but this is where the commissioners and the owners are getting together to talk about what some of the changes that we're going to see next season. And we're going to get into that in the second portion of our program. So it's really exciting, Pete.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's why probably most of you are watching, if you're watching still. But anyway, there's a dual process here, and as you can see, coming out of that graphic here into our season number 4 with the Arizona Beewolves. Pete and I's last season here in Arizona. It's been determined. We don't know where we're going yet. We're just starting to think of things, but at the halfway mark, we got 3 great seasons in, 1 championship, and we're poised to make a run at another one.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the season. We're coming off of a difficult losing streak, but we beat the Nemesis, and we cut their lead down to 1. So we got 2 more games against them. Hopefully we could start to get on a winning streak. Yeah,
and you can see here, I mean, it's been a great run here in Arizona. I just love it. I mean, 4 seasons, 98 and 73. I mean, it's a 57.3% winning, so it's not heavily weighted toward the winning side, but this season we're 15 and 7, so this is by far, our best start. 3 playoff appearances in our seasons and 1 championship.
Yes, and we're coming off the championship, which is another reason why I think we got a little wind. We got some wind in our sails this season.
Yeah. Looking at season standings at this point in the middle mark here, you wanna go over this like we normally do?
All right, over in the Pioneer Conference Pathfinder Division, the Blowfish sit atop the Pathfinder with a record of 16 and 9. The Crocodons and the Freedom are tied up in second place with records of 12 and 9, and they find themselves 3.5 games out of first place.
Yeah, Blowfish 16 and 6. I think you said 16-9, but that's okay. Uncharted Division Platypi are 15 and 7, and they've got a 2-game lead ahead against the Oakland Outlaws, who are 13 and 9.
Down in the Journey Division, the Grapplers with a record of 14 and 8 maintain a 4-game lead over both the Arctics and the Sandcats, who are tied up for second place, and they both have records of 10 and 12.
In our Conference Explorer Conference Seafair Division, the Houston Jacks are out front 14 and 8. They got a 1.5-game lead ahead of the California Gold Coats, who are 12 and 9.
Yes, sir. And in our very own Trade Division, the Nemesis with a record of 16 and 6 sit atop the Trade Division. They have a plus 29 run differential. Just behind them, your very own Phoenix Beewolves with a record of 15 and 7. They're 1 game out of first place, but they do have a plus 33 run differential. Rounding out the rest of the Trade Division, the Sirloins in third place with a record of 10 and 11. They're 5.5 games out. The Herbivores and the Water Bullets are knotted up in the basement with records of 8 and 14, and both of them find themselves 8 games out of first place, and they have a big uphill struggle to try and get even back in the chase.
Yeah. In the Curiosity Division, it's the San Jose Sawteeth are in first place, 13 and 9, and they're a game ahead of the San Diego Moonstars. And for the first time ever, we can look at the wild card standings. Why don't you I'll do the Pioneer Conference. So the favorite to get into if the season ended at the halfway mark, the Blowfish would be the favorite to get in. LA Blowfish 16 and 6, great record, 727 plus 19 run differential. They're followed by the Platypi are also first place, and the Grapplers and the Outlaws would be the wild card. They got a 1/2-game lead right now over the Crocodons and the Freedom.
Over in our Explorer Conference, the Nemesis, the Jacks, and the Sawteeth are all in by virtue of being in first place, and the wild card contender is currently the Phoenix Beewolves with a record of 15 and 7. They have a 2.5-game lead over the next team, which is the Gold Coats.
It is, yeah. So if the finals were happening today, it's the Nemesis would be favored over the Blowfish.
Yep.
At least that'd be the favorite. So we're going back here again now. We're going to look at league leaders at this point in the season to give you an idea of some people. Caesar Austin, the number 1 ranked Gold Coats pitcher. It's all pitchers, those first 6, the first half dozen of the 10. Austin, Bradwick, Woodrow, Portillo, Hulu, Ace, Von Ace, it's all, some of your usual suspects. And then the first non-pitcher, our boys, 30 Woodman.
Yes, sir. Hitting .429 with 681 slugging percentage, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, 10 walks. So yeah, as the outstanding player in the league, he certainly fills the bill.
Out of the top 10, we got a batting. Sturdy Woodman's also leading the league in batting average. He's got a 429 average. It's just his career season. It feel great for him. Buster Biggs is third behind Barney Schaefer. He's hitting 387, which is strange because I don't feel like I see Buster Biggs doing as much as he's doing. So that's one of those quiet things. And then we got Bertha Banks coming up down there in ninth. She's hitting 370. One of three amazing batting averages.
Yeah, and I would go out on a limb and say I think over the 4 seasons we've been here, I think this is the best Buster Biggs has done. I would be comfortable saying it's a career year for him as well.
Yeah. Next column.
Over in the next column, most home runs in the league. Baleen Reynolds for the Outlaws and Sagda Song for the Buzzards are leading with 9 home runs each, but just behind them, Steve Monstour, our plucky little catcher. The plucky little catcher, he's got 8. He's tied up with Joseph Trunk and Jose Carloco in second place.
It's funny because you see names like Song, Trunk, Jeterson, and Bentley and Buffler. You expect to see him out there, but Steve Monstour, just he's 1 home run off the lead, so that's amazing.
Yeah, and again, quietly having probably the best season of his career power-wise. I mean, we've never seen him hit this many home runs in a season, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I haven't. And I've been here this is 4 years now. Runs batted at RBIs, Ken Gutterson, Nick Flores leading at 22. Really impressive. Sturdy Woodman at 20. So he's in a 5-way tie for third for RBIs, just a couple off the lead. Yeah.
On base percentage, the Beewolves own the top 3. Buster Biggs with a 489, Sturdy Woodman with a 485, and Bertha Banks with a 452. Obviously, the same 3 names coming up. Buster Biggs, Sturdy Woodman, Bertha Banks. You're going to see. I don't know if we'll see a lot more of Steve Monstour. I mean, he's got the home runs, but I don't know if he figures in anywhere else on these lists.
I don't know either. But yeah, amazing that the best 3 on-base percentages in the league, so that helps show why we're here. Hits, Sturdy Woodman's got the most hits, 39, 2 ahead of Jeterson.
Yeah, and 12 extra base hits. He just makes the top 10.
Yeah, and glad nobody there. We don't have any on the strikeouts.
Yeah.
The run scores, stolen bases. You got Buster Biggs has got 7 stolen bases, which is still half of the leader, Rod Forth. For the Blowfish, 14 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is.
But then you get the
caught stealing. Yeah, Buster Biggs and Freddie Knox have both been caught 4 times. Biggs has 7. I don't know how many Freddie Knox has, but yeah, they've been caught the most. And then Hanley Dexteris makes the list as well. He's tied for second with 3 times caught stealing. So not a great stealing team, the Beewolves.
11 catches and those 3 runners. Pitching, Benson Rushmore tied for the lead. Now everybody is tied at 4 there, but I think they're giving it to Benson. Benson's having an amazing season.
Yeah, he was. He had a 0 ERA through most of the first half. Just recently he had a rough outing. And they finally got earned an earned ERA, but 4 wins is good for Benson.
Yeah, earned run average. We don't have anybody, but man, Durnever Walker less than 1.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And saves.
And then saves. Yeah, there's nobody on the saves list either. Although I think we do have somebody who has 4 saves, so they may be just off the list. I can't remember who it is. Is it Gasser or is it?
I'm not sure. I know York has 3.
Okay. So maybe it's Gasser.
And then for strikeouts, H. Bender has got 52. He's just 2 off of Caesar Austin. So every single season, he's going for the strikeout lead.
Yeah, and he's usually battling it out with Caesar Austin, and Frangipani's usually on that list as well, and she's there at the 6th position.
Yeah. You got all this stuff there. Okay, that's about it. Okay, so that's kind of where we are for league leaders. Team stats, just give you a quick show here. There's a few things. I mean, I guess I guess I was so here we are at the halfway mark, Pete. Anything sticks out to you?
No, not really. I think our starters are all playing well. You're looking at Ham Slamis. He's usually he subs in and out. Usually at times where we'll sit Freddie Knox and move Dexter's over to second. And he's hitting 386. He got 387 out of Buster Biggs in left. Woodman 429 at first. Bertha Banks 371 at third. You know.
Yeah.
Steve Montour 364 catching. Freddie Knox he's hitting 292, so he's not horrible. Polk Foster is a bench player, so the fact that he's only hitting 176, I don't need him to hit a ton.
Yeah.
Magic Moore 222. Magic Moore's never been one of the greater offensive players,
right.
But 222 is not bad. He has scored 7 runs. He's got 2 doubles, and he's walked 4 times. So, you know, 2 stolen. He's also got 2 stolen bases. So he's. I don't feel the need to get rid of him.
Well, I'll tell you, I can tell you what I saw. Because I actually started with the roster first. And I was looking at money, age, stuff like that. This kind of stood out to me. I paused at Magic Moore. You know, $6.4 million a year, and like you said, if you go to the stats, he's doing where is he there? 222 average.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been doing great. If we go back to him and look at his career, a lifetime average at 285, not bad, but he started off really. Actually, he's been going down a little bit. I mean, let's see where he's in the playoffs. Playoffs, he's 291. So as far as I'm sorry.
I was gonna say last year was his worst.
Yeah.
His worst showing in the playoffs.
As far as our starters goes, he might be objectively our weakest starter. I saw some other things. I saw Eduardo Keller is making $6 million a year. He hasn't done great. If I go to his team stats, Keller he's hitting 211. The only thing that has me pause on, the thing that stuck out for Keller is $6 million. When you look at some of the other players, he's a bench player, making more than a couple starters. But he's 19, so he's got development potential. So I don't know if I'd think about losing him or anything like that. Other than that, it's like it was Freddie Knox. But he's only making 5.2, and if you go to the stats, he's always statistically better than the impression I get seems like he's usually striking. He's hitting 292. Got 7 RBIs.
Yeah, you could knock me over with a feather when I saw he was hitting 292.
Yeah.
He's got 3 stolen bases.
Yeah. If we go to his career, he's a 317 average over the total of his career. It's actually that's not bad.
Yeah, it dropped between season 2 and season 3.
In the playoffs, he's hitting 298. Never been much of a home run hitter. He's only got 8 in his whole career.
But he's supposed to have the speed. That's the whole thing. The thing that troubles me is he's only got 3 stolen bases, and he's been caught 4 times.
Yeah.
It's like, at 93 speed, you should be doing a heck of a lot better than that. Again, he's also he makes errors. He's got an error out there,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
walked
that's right.
4 times.
One a year.
Yeah.
So
he's got 21 hits. All of them, I think, looked like they were all singles.
Oh,
which is weird. Again, for a fast guy, he should be picking up extra base hits, doubles, triples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but it looked to me like he has not hit a double or a triple so far this year.
Yeah. So yeah, to me, what kind of standing out? Magic Moore, Freddie Knox, Eduardo Keller, but like I say, I think we're paying him too much, but he's still young, and you never know.
Yeah.
But not that we want to get rid of Magic Moore or Freddie Knox, but maybe we look around at center fielders and second basemen and just see who's out there.
Well, you could always get rid of Magic Moore and then just promote Eduardo Keller. I think that's one of the other problems I have with Keller is he's a bench player, so he's not. How many full games has Keller actually played?
Oh, let's see here. We go team stats. Keller, he's down there second to last. Games 7 looks like. He's 4 for 19. 211. He's got no home runs, no RBIs.
Now, is that like full games he's played, or is that just game appearances?
I think that's game appearances, right? Yeah.
I was gonna say because we brought him in for like pinch hitting situations, late in games. But I don't know how many. Barney Bryan, Eduardo Keller, even Poke Foster. I think he's had a couple of full games to play, but I don't know if Eduardo Keller and Barney Bryan had more than one, maybe 2 full games to play.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get to a point where maybe we could, sub them out, put Eduardo Keller in for Magic Moore, and let's see how he does. The thing about it is when you look at it, I think Eduardo Keller has better stats everywhere except fielding and arm, which could be trouble in the outfield.
Oh yeah. Keller at so 45-51. Magic Moore is a better fielder,
power
hands down. Keller's faster. Yeah, Keller's got better power, and neither one is a great hitter. But Magic Moore's got him a little bit on that. Magic Moore's a better hitter and a better fielder.
And the other thing too is Magic Moore's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
So he gives us that too, that he can switch out.
That's true. He's got good contact against left-handers as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe like Freddie Knox. Although I mean, Moore was making 6.4. Freddie Knox is only making 5.2. But okay, so that's just. So if we go back then, all right, yeah. So now if we go back and we go to the sign and release, and there's some players out here. There's, I guess I could sort by position, maybe, right? And then if we're looking at second baseman, there's Javier Hotier, Randy Mann. Not a good fielder. Not a good arm. OTA's got good fielding. He's B- ranked. Let's just really quick just look at the differences here. You're talking about a Freddie Knox. We'd gain on power, we'd lose on connectivity. Freddie Knox a good contact hitter. I mean, OTA's not a bad contact hitter. We'd lose a lot of speed, so we wouldn't have him stealing. We'd gain in the fielding and drop the arm. And we'd lose. He's an older guy too. We'd end up getting $1 million back. But that's just. So that's a positive. Do you want to star Hotier or no?
That's up to you if you want to.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a big enough difference to. I mean, like I said, I don't dislike Freddie Knox. I'm always feel like he's doing worse than he is. But maybe what do you get for Hotier? You get a little more of the same. You just save $1 million, but I guess.
You lose the speed on the base pass too, so you have another guy who just can't.
Right.
Can't get around very well. So I don't know. Like I say, it's one of those things where you're like, well, Freddie Knox is supposed to be really fast, and you're like, yeah, but he's been thrown out 4 times and he's only stolen 3 times. So how fast is he really?
Yeah.
Well, according to the stats, he's got like an 80 or a 90 speed, so he should be fast. I don't know what's going on. So you always hope that at some point it'll kick in, right? And he'll be stealing bases better. But if you get rid of him and you bring in Hotier, well, that's gone. That's not even a question because he's below 50%, so he's not even gonna.
Yeah. Now, as far as standard center field for center field, you got Godfrey Storm. You'd lose power, you'd lose connectivity, you'd lose speed, you'd lose fielding. You'd only gain on an arm. And you'd be an older guy. It'd save you money. That'd be it. But I don't think I wouldn't imagine picking up Godfrey Storm. So, as far as what?
That's the thing is if we play Keller and we feel like he could take over the starting position for Magic more, then maybe that becomes more feasible. You save some money, pick up a lesser, because that lesser would be just kind of a bench player anyway. And he was the one you pulled up. I can't remember who it was, but he was a tough out utility player. So that might be something good off of the bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, we would have to get Keller to the point. Yeah, Godfrey Storm. We would have to get Keller to the point where he could step up and become the starting center fielder.
Yeah, and his primary position is left fielder, so he'd always be playing back. He'd be playing his backup position as well. So it's that. I think that brings his stats down slightly when he's not in his top position. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, I guess I don't see a need to do anything at this point or star anyone at this point. Anybody else out here that like sticks out to you? You're just like, wow, you know what? Let's just take a look at that person anyway. Let's go salary. I'll sort by salary. Baca Harris. What's 12.5 million? We don't need shortstops.
I'd go by power. That's what we need. We need power. Whenever you look at the matchups, the one thing the Beewolves don't have is any power. Dick Berger, a third baseman, C+. He wants 3.3 million. He's 90 power. I would go maybe Hatier because he's got the 74 power and the 63 connectivity.
Yeah.
Berger's I think would be a little bit like a Hammerlong Ballo, you know.
Yeah.
If he can get a hold of it, he's going to give it a good ride. But Berger's cheaper. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's see. As far as our infielders go, we've got backup infield. We got like a Barney Bryan, backup third base for Bertha Banks. He also plays first base. But if you go OTA, second base, shortstop, yeah. There's not like a second base, third base. Yeah.
I would, and I know you're gonna hate this because I know you like Pokey, but I would entertain the idea of maybe jettison Poke and bringing in Dick Berger.
Poke's a right fielder, and where's Berger?
Berger is a third baseman. He's just third base. That's all he plays.
Yeah. And we've got 2 third base people.
Hanley Dexterous can play everywhere, right? Hammerlong Ballo can play everywhere,
now,
basically, in the outfield.
I know you're saying Poke, but Barney Bryan's actually a third baseman.
Right.
I mean, if we could do a Barney Bryan. Now, Barney's 3.9. No. Well, Dick's 3.3. Well, let's just say here, for instance, if we did something like this. And we let Barney Bryan go. Barney Bryan is what, 26? Yeah, so we gain 45 in the power. We'd lose everywhere else. We'd lose, 23 in the connectivity, 21 on the fielding, 44, he said 21 on the arm. He doesn't need a good arm. He's fine at fielding. His speed's okay. He doesn't need to steal. His connectivity at what is this? Okay, so Barney Bryan's 67, so 50. Oh, he's like a 24. Yeah. I mean, we'd save $500,000. we could let Brian go and pick up Berger to back up for the Banks.
My only issue with that is then he might have to play third base at some point. Mm-hmm. And then that's where it's going to hurt us. Whereas I think we have enough people who could play either right field or outfield that we can afford to get rid of Poke Foster and bring in a Dick Berger who basically will just pinch hit at times. Okay. Or maybe be designated hitter.
Oh, okay, because Eduardo Keller can do outfield.
Right.
As a
Dexteris can play the whole outfield. Longballo can play the whole outfield. You got Magic Moore can play center field or the whole outfield. You got Eduardo Keller can play left field or anywhere in the outfield.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people that we can kind of move around.
Darn it, though, I've always liked Poke Foster.
I know, that's why I knew you weren't going to like it.
Well, his lifetime average 324. He's always hit above 300 except for this season. Only 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. And he never, he's done that and 33 for 102. Slugging percentage 230. Slugging percentage 444 on base. Runs 40. Let's see, 6 doubles, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Right. And we could keep. We could keep Poke Foster. I'm just saying, we have no power. They don't give us any credit as having power. And like you say, so far Poke is off to a rough start. That doesn't mean he won't kick it in the second half. And he is a bench player, so he's only used for pinch hitting. He's not a power hitter. He doesn't hit. How many home runs does he hit?
You can see here he's choked in the playoffs.
Yeah, he doesn't tend to show up in the playoffs. Again, I keep saying that, I think it's hard when you're just called on in those situations. But if you look at his regular season stats, 367, 385, 310, obviously he's been stepping up to the plate when we needed him because he's never been a starter for us.
Well, I think that's kind of the trade-off then. So it's like you got Poke Foster, he's coming to right field when Longballo's tense, and he's okay. He's okay. And he's fine for if you're going to pinch hitting situation. I often go to him because his connectivity is pretty good.
Yeah.
So you'd be trading that for Dick Berger. Be more of like we got to go try and get the long ball. We want to put him in because we want a home run.
Right.
And we wouldn't put him in to field.
No, his fielding is just too low, and his arm, it's less than average. So he's got to make that throw from third base all the way to first.
Yeah,
and hopefully, if he can catch the ball, he might even struggle to get that done.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I think this through in my head, he's kind of a one-trick pony.
Right, exactly.
Or as I look at
he's a power hitter to try and give us a little boost in power. Because that seems to be the one area where we're weakest.
Yeah. Well, you want to star him?
Go ahead and throw a star on him.
Okay.
Because that's the thing too, is hopefully we get Hammer Longballo. He's been off of his mark so far this season too, and hopefully as we come down the stretch, he's going to start putting it together and start hitting more long balls.
All right.
The whole team's really just. Even Dexteris, he's not hitting as many as he usually does. And I know you could say, he's got this many or that many. It's like, but he's not on the list for the most.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the most home runs in the league right now?
Well, he really comes through in the playoffs. Look at that.
Yeah, 562 last season.
14 home runs. Yeah, he's
5 home runs in the playoffs last season.
Holy cow.
Oh
yeah, that was great. Yeah, he willed us the championship last year.
He did. Look at that. Go back to the playoffs. Third season, 7 games, 32 at-bats, 18 hits, 5 of them were home runs. He had 10 RBIs, scored 10 runs, had 39 total bases, 3 triples in the playoffs.
5 stolen bases.
5 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah.
He was out of his mind. That was so much fun.
So he played, over the course of 7 games, he had 5 home runs. He's got like 5 home runs in the first 22.
Yeah.
He's off a little bit too. That's the other thing too, is I'm kind of happy with the record. I'm happy where we're at. But I still think that most of these players they still have another level that they haven't gotten to yet. You know.
All right. Well, maybe I stick in the next several games. Maybe I stick Poke Foster in more for like a pinch hitting. See if he turns things around, and then if he doesn't, if he stays under 200 in the average, then maybe we take an even closer look at Dick Berger.
Yeah. And like I say, that we should try to work in Eduardo Keller and Barney Bryan, get them some full games too. Especially as we come down the stretch, we want to give Bertha Banks. We want to give her a little time to rest and get back to 100%, and I don't know, maybe give Magic Moore a little bit of a rest. I think he played pretty well in the last game against the Nemesis. So. But if he gets tense, let's go to Eduardo Keller.
On the flip side, you had Barney Bryan for Kira Nutbag. Who would gain a ton of connectivity. She's 99 connectivity. She doesn't have that power, but RBI dud in a whiffer, so I guess that's mostly if she. That's not attractive. Anyway, okay. All right, so pitchers. I'm looking at this, and I love Hurley, Beavis, Fran, Deshaun. Is not our best, but for 4-1, I think I like our starters. I like all 4 of our starters. I don't have any issue with them. Gaston Morris is expensive, but he's doing really well.
Yeah,
doing really well.
Yeah.
His ERA lifetime is a 3.25.
Yeah, he's at a 1.93.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. 1-0 in the playoffs with a 4.5 ERA, but we think we can work that down. 2 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, so
got 2 Ks. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's. I mean, to me, it was Case was making 5.2, and I think he's not awful.
He's a little streaky.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with Case.
Yeah, he's making 5.2, which isn't a ton of money, I don't think. I mean, he's making a lot more than Benson Rushmore, who's doing awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're paying Benson Rushmore 3.4 to do twice as good. That's the only reason he kind of stuck out for me. Macy York 6. She's. I'd rather not be paying 6.6 for closer, but she's doing well. So if we looked at like relievers, pitchers. Doug Nerdward's out there. Tats. You can always pick Tats back up.
He's walk prone.
Yeah. And I guess it's first by position, then by rank. So the best reliever out there is Doug Nerdward.
Right. He does have a pretty good repertoire. He's got 5 pitches.
Yeah. A 4, a split, a curve slider, changeup. How does he compare to? We would lose velocity, gain junk, lose accuracy. Yeah, we'd age is the same age. I don't know. That doesn't look great to me. Tats. Let's compare Tats. What do we get for if we? Okay, so we lose 16. If Tats has better junk. He's a year older and he's just cheaper. Tats is just cheaper.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't look like anybody there. I mean, a closer K Frequent. Who wouldn't want K Frequent? It's just that you have to pay her $21 million. Smack Avery.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go back to, think about closing. Smack can give you more velocity, but you lose that junk and that accuracy. And she'd save $4.7 million a year. I mean, if we were looking to save money, could you imagine getting? Smack pitched really well for us. I mean,
He did all right.
I mean, yeah. At first, I was scoffing at it, but thinking, she's doing really well, but he did really well for a C plus, and he's almost $5 million cheaper. I don't know. Any interest in that, or no, or?
I don't know. To be honest with you, K Frequent hasn't had an awful lot of not K Frequent, but what's our
York? Macy York.
Macy York. Yeah, Macy York just hasn't really had a lot of opportunities. Like we said, between Gasser Morris, Benson Rushmore, and Case Barajas, they've been able to close out games. So she really, I mean, how many games has she appeared in? She's 0-1. She's given up 3 runs. 2 of them are earned, or she's got a 3.86 ERA. So she's appeared in 9 games.
Yeah, lifetime ERA of 1.82. That's really good.
3 saves.
Only 5. Yeah, and eight saves lifetime. 24 innings pitched.
And only 4.2 this season. So even though she's been in 9 games, she's only pitched 4.2 innings.
Yeah, we got to bring her in more often.
Yeah,
I'm always putting off the closer. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
yeah,
I don't want to bring the closer in and then all of a sudden have to go extra and then be like, all right, now we got to bring another reliever in. But
yeah, and I don't ever think of bringing the closer in a losing effort. I mean, what's the point? What's the point of that? I don't need her to close that.
Yeah.
And if you use her here when you know you're going to lose, then she gets tired, and if you need her in the next game to shut the door, and now she's tired, why? That seems like a waste.
And
I don't tend to pull her either.
She was in the playoffs last year. She was in 2 games. She pitched 3 innings. She got a save in one of the games. She had 7 Ks. She was good solid in the playoffs last year.
Only gave up 1 home run. Yeah. So. Yeah. And we talked about the issue with Smack Avery was all of our pitchers tend to pitch far better than their rating.
Yeah.
Because we're controlling them and we're doing, we do a better job pitching. But I'm always afraid, especially if you release somebody onto the free agent wire, when you bring them back, they're going to pitch more like their rating.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to start over again and try to get to rebuild that attitude and stuff like that. So I'm content with Macy York. I know we're spending some money. I know we don't have a lot for development, but this is our last season. We're going for the championship. We're going to go, a repeat for the championship.
Yeah.
I think we got a pretty good team. I think we got a good team.
All right.
And that's it.
I like the sound of that. All right. So player development, we could develop Freddie Knox horse hormones. We'd lose some of his power, but we'd get 6 on his speed. Wow, he'd be 99 speed. And then or we get the Hammer Longwell red meat diet. We'd add to his arm, but we'd lose a couple other places. So it's basically, Fran Japani in 4 games of bullpen session. That's possible. You want to hold on to that money and.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. She gets +2 or a 10% chance of +7.
Okay.
For her velocity, that would get her up to, 76 or 81. 81.
Yeah.
And then her junk goes up to 61. Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, I'm always up for pluses. I don't like minuses.
All right, cool. Well, then we'll go into the next steps of kind of what's going to change next season with Super Mega 4. Before I fade into that, we're at the 40-minute mark. Keep watching here, folks. And this is what we're learning thus far. This is what we're finding out. All right, and so now we're talking about next season. We learned a lot of new stuff here, and there's a lot to share with you. It's kind of drinking from the fire hose. But, we wanted to kind of go over sort of what we know so far. And what we know so far is that next season there are going to be slightly fewer teams. Right now, the way we have things going, and I'll do an overlay here, you can see our current standings in the division. we've got, two conferences, 5 teams in each division, except for one division, which has 4. So each conference has 2 divisions of 5 and one of 4. The league's going to pare that down next year. We're going to have 3 divisions of 4 in each conference. So right now, 10, 14, 20, we have 28 teams in the league right now. They're going to shrink it down to 24. So it's going to be a lot more competitive. So some of the teams you've known over the last 4 years are going to switch out into different leagues, and some may carry over, but some won't. What we know is the 20 that you're used to are going to 20 of the 24, right? 12 and 12 is 24. Yeah, 20 of the 24 are going to be the standard teams you know. It's the Overdogs, will be there. The Platypi, the Sandcats are going to be there again. The Sawteeth, Sirloins, Wide Loads, the Wild Pigs, your Beewolves, the Blowfish, the Buzzards, the Crocs, the Freebooters, the Grapplers, the Heaters, the Herbiosaurs, the Hot Corners, the Jacks, the Moonstars, the Moose, the Nemesis. So those are the 20, I believe that's 20 teams, right? 20 teams.
I wasn't counting.
Yeah. Those are teams that are going to definitely be in next season, and 4 other teams of the 8 other teams that were part of the expansion will also transfer over. Now, the league is going to shuffle draft players for much of this, and many of the owners have come together and suggested that the teams start with similar lineups as they did 4 years ago. So the players that are still in the league for that are going to play again. So you'll see some familiar faces in Arizona back on the Beewolves. It looks like they may look to move players such as Gina Torrens back to Phoenix, and Kobe Kingman back to Phoenix as well. So it's going to be some big shakeups.
Johnson Swanson.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So a lot of what we've done over the last 4 years is going to be undone, which is a little unfortunate. But I think some of the players are excited. Hammer's going to go back to St. Louis to play for the Sirloins for at least one more season. So that's one of the biggest developments. Just a technical issue with the game itself. I think I'm gonna have to get used to the character models. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're an upgrade. I think I liked the character art a little bit more in Super Mega 3. So some of the characters who you've grown to recognize in Super Mega 3 are a little harder to recognize in this game. Some of their features are a little exaggerated, I think.
Yeah.
There's a tendency for some bottom heavy people, and then you get some people who have like a sort of a narrow head on top and a big wide jaw. So there's some strange things I have to get used to, but I think we'll get used to it pretty quick. So you'll see a lot of familiar characters, but so what we want to talk next about is stadiums, because this is another big development. There are going to be more stadiums. There's Apple Field in New York City. Sakura Hills is going to be out in Oakland. Colonial Plaza down in San Diego. Swagger Center, LA. Motor Yard in Detroit. Bengata Bowl out in San Jose. Emerald Diamond up in Washington or Tacoma. Shaka Sports Turf out in Honolulu. Red Rock Park down out here in Arizona. El Viejo out in Fort Lauderdale. Founders Field out in Philadelphia, and then Big Sky Ballpark in Colorado Springs, Lafayette Corner in St. Louis. Tiger Down out there in Houston. And then we got some new ones. We got Parque Jardineros. So I guess it's going to be an international league this year, right? Is that what we're going with?
That seems, it kind of seems like Barcelona,
That kind of international, not like Mexico and Canada, but like Europe too, you think?
Well, I don't know. It's up to you. Like I said, that could be Mexico, but there's another one that I think is even more.
Yeah. Stade Royal, which I guess I figured was kind of like a Quebec or a Montreal kind of a thing.
Copaca.
Battery Bay, which could be like a
Jersey.
Oh, I was thinking Tampa Bay.
Oh, I was thinking Jersey, but that's okay. Because is it the Boardwalk in Jersey?
Atlantic City?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it looks this nice. That looked a little bit to me like what is it? Busch Gardens with like the pirate ship back there and the Kraken. Well, anyway, Battery Bay.
We'll figure it out.
The Corral looks a little bit like a Dallas kind of a thing with the oil rigs out there.
Yep.
And the Needle. Golden Field looks somewhere Midwesty, like Kansas, Nebraska,
Iowa.
sort of. Yeah. Like Omaha or Wichita. I don't know.
Cornfields out there.
Whackers Wheel looks like Chicago's gonna finally get
an expansion.
That'd be nice. Carroll Point, which I don't know where that would be, but there's battleships, so I guess that could be East Coast. Like I don't know, or it could be West Coast as well. And Ciudad Colores, that's obviously Mexico.
Yeah,
you could have two Mexican teams. Or like you said, you could put one in Spain. But then the Spain one would be like the only European one.
Right. So, maybe not.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm sorry. So what we're looking at here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 stadiums we've already known. Then we got a 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 stadiums. I don't know if they're getting to come out with any more, but at least the way that is right now, you have 24 teams, 22 stadiums. There's only going to be 2 stadiums that house 2 teams. And right now that looks like it would be New York's Apple Field, because New York's one of the largest city in the country, so the wide loads and the the wide loads and the wild pigs would still be there, and then Swagger Center out in LA would still have the Blowfish and the Overdogs. So all the other stadiums would have one team there. So for instance, you may keep the Moose in Motor Yard. I don't know if the Heaters will still be in the league. But teams that were like Bengata Bowl had the Sawteeth and the Grapplers, one of those teams is going to move. So you'll not only see some roster changes, but you'll see some teams moving again, like they did for Super Mega 3. So those are a couple of the biggest changes. Again, here's some of the different character models. Like you can see, there's what Handley Dexter's looks like next season. He will be a Beewolf again. But there's a lot of other different changes to the game as well in franchise mode. We got signing and releasing of the players. We already do that. Available players list, player watching, loyalty, and manager moments. This is new. So you're going to have different things to think about with player loyalty, which will go up and down throughout the year, and you can see some of the stuff that's affected with that. I got player re-signing. So not only are you, is it you deciding to re-sign a player, but it's how eager are they to re-sign, and then there could be some salary negotiation at the end of the seasons. Yep. The off-season overview is very similar in that sense, but there's negotiation rounds and stuff like that. So there's also aging and skill change events. There's a news feed, franchise overview, opportunities, outcomes. What was it with something about the I guess it's the team mechanics.
Right.
So yeah,
Mojo.
Bullpen, Mojo, fitness and pressure. That's all still the same.
Right. The team chemistry is what I meant.
Yeah, you got bullpen management and then team chemistry. So team chemistry now, the players, you're going to learn a lot more about the player attributes and how well the players play together. So now not only are you looking for like, hey, we need a second baseman, you're looking for a second baseman that's going to be a good fit with the team. So
it's going to be spirited or disciplined.
Right. Yeah. It's an added level. It's 40 chess now. So it's from a managerial perspective. There's a lot you can screw up, or really, you can really fine tune the synergy and get a team working well. and really bring them to their peak performance. So that'll be great to see. So I think we're excited to see Super Mega. There's Sturdy Woodman. Looks like he's going to get re-signed back down to Fort Lauderdale, play for the Freebooters. So that'll be it'll be exciting, and that'll be about 7 months away. But we'll tell you a little bit more again about the details about what teams are going to move where, who's going to be where we're thinking of going next, and we'll get some more build up towards next season when that happens. Anything else you want to say, Pete?
No, sir. Just that I'm excited for the new opportunity. Like I say, I'd like to see this one through. I'd like to see the Beewolves win another pennant before we close down Super Mega Baseball 3, and then I'm excited about getting into Super Mega Baseball 4. I agree wholeheartedly that I think the character design was at best at the Super Mega 3.
Yeah.
Although these aren't as bad. Where it seems, I think, where it starts to kind of get a little hinky is with the heavier set players.
Yeah.
Because like I say, what you'll have here, you got Sturdy Woodman right here. He doesn't look too bad. He's got the bigger head, the thicker neck. We've seen other ones that are heavy set, but have these really kind of have these tiny necks and tiny heads, and it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But the thinner players don't look bad. You got Curtis Granderson back there. He doesn't look bad. I can't remember what the other gentleman's name is, but yeah, they don't look too bad at all. I thought for sure they were all going to be off, but no, they don't. The thinner ones, even we saw Dexterez, and he doesn't look too bad. Like I say, some of the more square jawed characters, the head looks a little bit too big for the body. So it just seems like there's some of the players have this unequalness that just gives them a kind of an off look,
Well, and there's some goofy sounds they all tend to make, and sometimes they seem just a little over animated. And I know they've got different character traits now, but they don't have to be kind of a bozo.
Right.
They don't have to play to the extreme of the characterization. I don't think. I think they maybe have overdone that slightly, but again,
but that's what we're gonna have to see. Like I said, once you get into franchise mode, how much of this stuff do they play constantly? Some of it might appear periodically. At that point, you can kind of let it go. Exhibition games are hard because it's almost like a showcase, so they're going to try and give you a feel for everything. Whereas when you get into a franchise and you're talking about multiple games over a long period, some of the stuff gets dialed down because they know it gets a little irritating if it happens too much. So that stuff we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, and at the time of this recording, it's August 2023. A lot can change between now and then. When I downloaded this about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, I just went and looked at the change logs, and it was so extensive. I thought I don't even need to know. Like I don't need to know what's changed. It's not even nearly the same game it was on release. I mean, with the hundreds of different things that they tweaked. My assumption is in the next 6-7 months. Who knows what we're even dealing with. There may be even further tweaks. I'm still hoping before then that they'll have some sort of function where you can import a franchise from Super Mega 3. That'd be a game changer.
Be really cool. Yeah,
because then we'd be able to pick up right where we left off. But I mean, I think it could be an opportunity for us to pare down the league somewhat with the 28 teams that we have now. It is a long 44 game season's a long season. At 24, right? Yeah, 24, they would get it down to 37. We'd have 7 fewer games during the regular season. We'd have a 37 game season. Playoffs would be the same length, but it'd be a little bit more manageable. We would finish, what is that, like a month and a half sooner? So that'd be a big help.
Yeah, I would.
Right. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in for that, folks. Stick around after this. The next broadcast is going to be back again from Shaka Sports Turf, where we're going to get the second game of the 2-game series against the Nemesis. So until then, it's Tommy G.
And this is Pete J. We're saying, get out of here.